act of devotion. They're mutually supportive. You don't want that. You want this. So you're extremely avoidant of that, which amplifies and increases your commitment and your dedication to this celebrated way of being.
Для меня было бы важно, если бы Сашу вывели из клетки, это был бы шанс просто хоть на время обнять ее, почувствовать ее тепло.
There's a certain joy that people get from fighting. Mahatma Gandhi recognized that. Martin Luther King recognized that. You either have a sadistic joy in the execution of pain and painful actions, destructive actions. They might be only in one direction. It may only be the prisoner who's hurt, but internally, it's a destructive neural effect because there is a potential that we all possess for a form of mind-body intentional coordination and choreographed mutual assistance, mutual construction. Like, not only are we the designers, we're the builders. We're the entire crews. We are a skyscraper. We're a giant project made up of trillions of bacteria and trillions of cells. We are all trying to unify this entity to become as perfect as it can be. So if I'm trying to go into a class, if I'm trying to prepare myself as best I can to perform in whatever it is, maybe it's on the basketball court, maybe it's at home preparing dinner, setting the table, or taking the trash out. There is a perfect way to do it. There's a perfect sequence of rooms, perfect sequence of trash cans that reduces the distance or maximizes the muscular activations that are required for doing that. Whoa! It's from the feet to the fingertips. It's from the toes on the toenails of your feet. In as many degrees of movement as possible. I can't move my shoulder in 360 degrees. Not in a perfect circle. Maybe I can do 120 degrees. And that still demands alterations in my fingers as I'm creating that roller coaster. Imagine your knees. Imagine all of your joints doing the same thing. Imagine your eyelids. Imagine your eyelashes. Imagine the hairs on your scalp. That's what acupuncture is trying to do. That's what cold treatment. That's what cold showers. That's what stimulating the vascular, skin-based contractive system. What is it that gives you goosebumps? What is it that gives you that unique activation of those muscles? In that way, it's got to be some external force. Almost always. That's something that we can simulate with the temperature. Yes, one can have some type of, like a fear. You have some emotion that's visually recognized, as there's some other reaction in the amygdala of anxiety. And if you don't know how to frame yourself, just like we frame a house, we are houses, we are buildings. The bones of the house are like your bones. There is a way to move them such that you can face a hurricane. You can face a tornado. You can face that and get through it and be stronger on the other side. Yes, time will have its effect, but your experience, the track record of having overcome these challenges is aggregate. Never forget that. Never forget that. Whoa! 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 Once you find these slight points of alignment in these different positions,
the main symbols of Russian patriotism.
Go to them.
We are a military country now. Our whole personality is military.
The Union of Mothers set up this memorial to remember their dead sons, the ones that were not confirmed by the government, whether they are dead, alive, or missing. And this is what happened to this memorial the very next day, because in Russia you're only allowed to grieve if your government allows you to do so.
There are individuals who have been so traumatized by the world. All of these leaders who are enacting these policies of hate and destruction, they need this more than anyone. They're the ones who have had the responsibility of harmonizing this chaos more than the rest of us for longer.
He was in the hospital.
What type
for the last
of world do they envision?
And then he died.
Megalomania is a natural human progression whenever you have absolute forms of power
good Russians
that are maintained.
So in that sense, I guess he did become.
I think in our nation, we should say, you can be president and you can run again after 3 election cycles. Or maybe after 4 presidential election cycles.
Thousands of miles away near Lake Baikal. Continuing to report on the death.
Think about the talent. Think about the governmental talent that is lost and is not in the government. So there's 2 dimensions that I encourage everyone to begin to think about for themselves. They are the elevation and the distance from the body.
When they find the house,
Now,
they're invited inside.
if you're pushing in, that's a negative distance.
She tells them that he died fighting
Place this
as a
point.
sniper in Ukraine.
Right in between your eyebrows. Place your hand very, very low. Touch as much of yourself as you can, and then
And a year before the
go
invasion,
out from that
ran off to join a
until you find these these comfortable extremes. Because it's only when you find these comfortable extremes, one, will you believe me? Will these ideas begin to resonate? Will you understand the passion that you're hearing, the passion that you're seeing? I am absolutely serious about the potential for permaculture to perfect our outer world. There's an outer self. And we perfect that with permaculture, with the choices of what to plant, where, when to sow it, when to prepare that bed, when to amend the soil, and what to amend it with. These are all molecular and atomic changes. NPK, nitrogen, potassium, phosphorus, those are the core components. But it's not alive. Atoms aren't alive. But when they come together, when they unify, something happens. And when molecules come together, you get cells. What you're to say, these little castles that keep almost everything out. There's still ways that things can get into it. There's still ways that things can infiltrate them.
She showed them a posting about
But they've got to pass through some type of gate that is discerning, and it's so small, perhaps. Light, neutrinos. There are aspects of this universe that we cannot see, we cannot feel them, but we have proven that they exist. Tell me that's not magic. Tell me the tools with which we're discovering and making these proofs aren't expressions of God. Enlarging your idea of God. He's more than just what Michelangelo depicted on the Sistine Chapel ceiling. She's more than that. It's more than that. That's one awesome thing about Islam. Islam says that you really can't even conceptualize God. We can see the heavens up there. We can see the stars. We can theorize about these crystal globes in which we're operating, which at the time, based on what was known, made sense. It makes sense to think that the sun revolves around us based on our experience, our uninformed experience that is ignorant of fundamental knowledge. About what makes the wind and tides.
In September,
and electrons fly.
Stated that 5,930
electromagnetic fields that are invisible, we possess them. The earth possesses them.
figure is around 4 times that.
Uranium possesses it.
Left the dead militia fighter.
Oh, we can't see him though. We can't see X-rays. We can't see these magnetic fields. But it affects us. It changes how we choreograph. It changes how we operate. It changes something inside of us. And it enables something unique, something that's so phenomenal.
стільки погибших
that it's
воєнних
built on
в домах.
everything that's ever been to make this possible.
Росіяни
To make this possible. Right now, there's trillions of electrons that are passing through